to the store to show tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's gonna have a solo act.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, this is so pretty when you're there. Gusto ko na ito ko eh, like
I'm in the road. Oh, you want pictures? You want your picture? Dave's gonna take the picture. No, you're straight. It's the middle one,
So, and you can only turn around when she taps you on the shoulder, okay? She put in a song request to have her. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of like go everywhere here. And I'll put on a song if that's okay. Okay, a little slower, Em.
Should the sky fill with fire and smoke, keep watching over during sun.
Whenever you're ready.
This is to end in fire.
Oh.
And we show our bones together. Watch the flames come high. Calling out, Father. Stand by and we love. Watch the flames burn over. Looking good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's a good song selection.
Oh, I was just saying that as we were walking. I was like, oh, this feels like the Lord of the Rings.
It does.
That has been the theme again.
Woo! Okay, go for a big passionate kiss since everybody's watching.
Watch the flames burn. See fire.
Yay! Thanks so much, everybody. Things that happen.
Come join us.
Yeah, call them over.
Yeah, Neighbors on. Come on over. Wedding party people, come join us.
That's my heels are holding on the ground.
Okay. Okay, so that looks great. Okay, look right here.
Oh, so nice. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I know, right? Sorry. Judgment. Well, get used to it.
You know, you're all going to walk towards me and spread apart a little bit and just like kind of walk with some attitude and look at each other. Just keep your bouquets at your side.
Some attitude. Someone's gonna fall.
And look at each other.
Funniest joke ever.
Can I back it up, go the other way? Okay. And keep walking. Can I turn back this way? And then link arms. Link arms.
Yeah, but there's a big
Yeah, that's okay. Let's come in.
Okay, now you're gonna walk towards me and just kind of like throw some hip bumps at each other and walk towards me. And look at each other and walk towards me. Look at each other.
Oh, yeah. Goes a little, we're good. No woman can.
Aren't you glad I didn't say banana orange? Silly boy.
So this minister's from Langley United Church?
He's new,
He's new.
so we haven't like really. We've only done online sessions.
I have a dope too.
Oh, it's here.
Who's there?
Mickey Mouse's underwear is
I have another one.
Okay. Not truck.
Apple food.
We'll try that. We can go with the rest.
Good afternoon.
Go around that.
If you want to walk off,
No, I would
go
say
ahead.
Did you do drugs? Yeah, mushrooms. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, I'm like so happy about life. Yeah, that's awesome. Some bikes. Okay, I see the flower. It looks like you got the crew.
Very also very just have a horse shirt on.
Oh, I know. Look, who's this? Who's this person? I know.
Bennett has Baby Yoda underwear on though, so.
Hello.
You're okay, my dear?
Should we call
How did you rate that?
suicide prone. Au bord de la bijou, il restait tranquille, son cœur a presque cassé, guettant du matin au soir. You remember when the west wind moves among the fields above. You can tell the sun is jealous when we walk in the fields above. So she took her love for to gaze among the fields of barley. In his arms she fell as her hair came down among the fields of barley. Will you stay with me? Will you be my love among the fields of barley? And you can tell the sun in his jealous sky when we walk in fields of gold. I never made promises like these. There have been some that I've broken. I swear they still love. We'll walk in fields of gold. We'll walk in fields of gold.
Good afternoon. As a community of friends, we are here to celebrate this union of Emily and Alain and to bless them as a community. We are gathered here today to celebrate in loving community, to celebrate a beautiful commitment in this union. Let us celebrate and commit to support this relationship together. A wedding ceremony is an outward form. To be true, it must be a symbol of something inner and real. Only a couple can administer the sacrament of marriage to each other, and only a couple can sanctify it. Neither a church nor any power vested in me by the state can grant me the authority to declare what only two hearts can declare, and what only two souls can make real. Marriage and the union it symbolizes can be the most intriguing of human experiences. For love in its many forms is what life is all about, and life's best gift. Marriage is not a state to be entered into lightly or unadvisedly, but reverently, and with due contemplation to the deep commitments and tender emotions which keep love alive. One of the beautiful possibilities of this marriage is that while you unite to become one, you do not thereby become any less yourselves, but more. For this union of this is a union of true freedom, not possessiveness. You each have valuable qualities to bring to this marriage, and as you treasure your own uniqueness and that of your partner, your relationship is elevated to that of a true spiritual union, a union that far exceeds the sum of its individual parts. How can you become one without losing your individuality? How can you maintain your individuality without distracting from unity? The answer is to be found in unconditional love. In love, you surrender, each giving yourself to each other, but you do not lose yourself in the other, you find yourself. You are one, yet you are distinct. That is the paradox, the mystery of love. As we're gathered here on the traditional Coast Salish territory, we would like to acknowledge that the land on which we stand belongs to the many nations which have come before us. These nations have been caretakers of this land since time immemorial, farther back than anyone can remember. Their care and history is something that has allowed us to enjoy the beauty of this land today. As a settler, I try to tread gently on this land and to walk with respect for all of creation and to listen to those who came before me, as well as those who will come after me, about what this land needs from me and how we can be custodians of this place while we are here. I hope you too will enter into the same agreements and intentions with me. In this sacred and joyful moment, we call upon the highest in Emily and Alain, the divine presence that has always known exactly what you need, that gives and asks the best of them, that brought them to love and has chosen them for the sweet commitment of marriage. For them we ask every blessing of this moment, a confirmation of the wisdom of their choice, great happiness on the path that is set before them, kindness and care as they walk upon it, strength to live out their purpose, grace and peace through each step of this journey, and beloved friends to support them. May they be filled with joy, may they keep their promises with ease, may love always abide in them. Amen. I'd like to invite you all to take part in a special ritual. This is an opportunity to provide a symbol for Emily and Alain to take to a special place so that every time they look at it, it will serve as a reminder of this beautiful moment with all of you here. You'll see to the left here, your right, a bowl and some vessels of water. The bowl represents the container that holds this couple's marriage. The two containers on either side of the bowl represent Emily and Alain. As you will notice, these containers are full, for each of these people are complete as they are. They do not bring a container that is half full, hoping to be fulfilled by someone else in marriage. They each, as individuals, are complete. And they are complete in spirit, the same loving essence that is in their marriage, as the water represents. The stones will be submerged in that spirit to represent the many blessings we bestow upon these two today. So you'll each find a rock under your chair. And each row has one or two markers you'll have to share and get along. I will ask you each to contemplate a word of blessing, a quality that will be represented in the stones. Take a moment, and if you are comfortable, close your eyes. Open your heart, and let the quality come forth that you most desire for these two to experience in their marriage. As you open your eyes, write down your word and bring your blessings forward to this bowl.
the pool? Was there 2 to 3 more?
So you have personally blessed this marriage and been a part of it. Emily and Alain will now step forward and take their full containers and pour them into the blessing-filled spirit of this marriage, symbolically expanding their experience of the Spirit in their marriage. We now have a reading from Jan Cody, Emily's aunt.
Hi there, everybody. This is a poem that Emily and Alain have passed on to me to read. It's by E.E. Cummings. He was very prolific in the early 50s. And to be honest with you, when I first read the poem, I had no idea what it meant. And I read it again and again and again, trying to find meaning in it. And the easiest way that the words finally jumped out of the page was when I said it to my husband, and it all made sense when I said it to him. So if you don't mind, the only way I can really read it is when I read it to him. So it's called I Carry Your Heart. I carry your heart with me. I carry it in my heart. I'm never without it. Anywhere I go, you go. And whatever is done by only me is your doing. I fear no fate, for you are my fate. I want no world, for beautiful you are my world, my truth. And it's you, or whatever a moon has always meant, and whatever a sun will always sing, is you. Here is the deepest secret nobody knows. Here is the root of the root, and the bud of the bud, and the sky of a tree called life, which grows higher than soul can hope or mind can hide. And this is the wonder that is keeping the stars apart. I carry your heart. I carry it in my heart.
couple has allowed me a short reflection. And I wasn't totally sure what to say at this time about marriage. This is a time in our history that has not brought out the best in all people. We've seen people who are scared, given to selfishness, hoarding what they can, living into their fear, blaming others, and generally not being very thoughtful. One writer I admire pointed out that we weren't coming together before a pandemic. Why would we come together now? As a minister and a person trying to remain optimistic, I have kept a lookout for people going in the other direction. I have seen people rise to the challenge of a global pandemic. I have seen people give of themselves to help ensure others survive. There were so many healthcare workers wanting to be part of delivering the vaccine doses here in BC that rules had to be drawn to ensure enough healthcare workers stayed on the site of their regular jobs. We saw some governments rise to the occasion, giving unprecedented security to those without. Some countries have joined together to eradicate the virus and help everyone around them be safe. Today we are marking yet another occasion in which people have decided to rise above. This is a time in which we can choose to trust no one or to entrust our resources onto others. I have just met Emily and Alain, but in each piece of our correspondence, their intentions were clear. They bring out the best in each other. They are here to celebrate today with as many as their loved ones as could safely attend. I can be a bit of a worrier, and I was hesitant to commit to a gathering which may risk putting anyone in harm's way. Early on in our correspondence, Alain assured me that they are not only intending to follow any provincial health mandates, but they would strive to keep everyone safe and had no intention of putting anyone at risk. Accordingly, this gathering only grew as each of our safety measurements allowed. Arrangements and alternatives were made at every step of the way, answering the call of how can we do this most safely. Emily, Alain, and their families were willing to forego any part of the celebration if it at all seemed potentially unsafe. They were willing to have the smallest wedding possible if that was what was wise. And so we have gathered here today to celebrate these two families joining in marriage at a time when this is a brave choice. To do so safely shows both wisdom and care, and dedication to loved ones and to loving one another. The biblical story of Naomi and her daughter-in-law Ruth came to mind. I don't know how many of you would be familiar with this story, but after they had each lost their husbands, the younger daughter-in-law, Ruth, had every right to return to her own tribe, and yet Ruth stood by her mother-in-law, who had no one else to support her. Ruth says, "Do not press me to leave you," to Naomi, or to turn back from following you. Where you go, I will go. Where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God my God. Where you die, I will die. There I will be buried. May the Lord thus do so for me, and more as well, if even death parts me from you. This is a remarkable choice, and this went against tradition, and of the options Ruth had, this was the less certain option for her future. They had no one to support them. Yet instead of misfortune, Ruth and Naomi come to find their family and prosperity together because of this choice, because of this chosen family. The ceremony today is no regular wedding. It is a choice to enter into a commitment during some of the more challenging times humans have ever encountered. In the midst of these challenges, fears of scarcity, and frightening medical realities, these two stand before you choosing each other. They want you to know of their commitment. It is no accident that they stand here together, and that they willingly declare that they intend to continue standing together into an unknown future. Sometimes those vows to bear with each other through thick and thin can seem a bit glib, but today we have some better ideas of what that might mean. This couple, deeply in love, have come out stronger from one of the more frightening times in our history. They have come through stronger together, even more resolute to remain by each other's sides. And what better sign or blessing could we hope for in these uncertain times? We are here to bless this union, this wedding of hearts and families. It is such a blessing to be here with each other, one which none of us will take for granted, I'm sure. Right now, more than ever, we know that love is a choice, and that to choose each other rather than turn our backs on one another in a frightening world is only one of our options. And we are certainly grateful to this couple for standing before you all today, for they have boldly chosen love. By our presence here, we accept responsibility for helping Emily and Alain and encouraging them in the new stage in their relationship which they are about to enter. We are called to rejoice in their happiness, to help them when they have trouble, and to remember them in our prayers and reflections. Emily, although Alain is giving his hand to you, he is not a gift for you alone. You are asked to so love this man that in your love he might find himself as he is created, so handsome and strong and brave and true, that the entire world might be blessed by the presence of a man who shines so. May he relax in your arms as he has never relaxed before. Do you choose Alain to be your life companion, to share your life openly with him, to honor and tenderly care for him, to speak truthfully and lovingly to him, to accept him as he fully is, and to delight in who he is becoming, to respect his uniqueness, encourage his fulfillment, compassionately support him through all the changes of your years together, and to always seek the light within him in whatever moments of darkness may come. And Alain, although Emily is giving her hand to you, she is not a gift to you alone. You are asked to so love this woman that in your love she might find herself as she is created, so beautiful and strong and brave and true, that the entire world might be blessed by the presence of a woman who shines so. May she relax in your arms as she has never relaxed before. Do you now choose Emily as your life companion, to share your life openly with her, to honor and tenderly care for her, to speak truthfully and lovingly to her and accept her as she fully is, and to delight in who she is becoming and respect her uniqueness, encourage her fulfillment, compassionately support her through all the changes of your years to come, and to always seek the light within her, whatever moments of darkness may come?
I do.
And I have a question for you, the family. If you would stand as you are able, all of you. So this is another I do question. Do you, the family and friends of Emily and Alain, promise to support them with your love and encourage their growth as a married couple? Will you do everything in your power to uphold and care for these two in their life together? If so, please say, I do.
I do.
You may be seated. As Emily and Alain pledge themselves to each other, let us help them and bless them, that their love may be pure and their vows may be true, with the help of their loving community and your beloved blessing continually pouring out upon them.
Emily, you are the zest of life I did not know I was missing until we met. Without you, days are dull and gray. With you, every moment is an explosion of flavor, joy, and color. From sunrise to sundown, you light up my life with your enthusiasm for breakfast, your inexhaustible energy for exploring, and your dedication to making the days of others brighter. Almost a decade with you has flown by. I distinctly remember the day you returned to Vancouver after our first summer together in Ottawa. Driving back from the airport, I felt a part of me had been ripped away. I knew all too well that it was my heart. Fortunately, through thick and thin, rain or shine, we made the distance work and savored every moment together. We still do today. From Ottawa to Vancouver, Victoria, Paris, and Toronto, chasing your love around the world has been nothing short of a privilege. You make me a better person, plain and simple. I promise to always be there for you, whether that be for supporting your dreams, drying your tears, or simply for bringing you your toothbrush at the couch after a long day. I promise to cherish our families, our friends, and the pleasures of our everyday lives together, for now and forever. Je t'aime, I love you.
LA. I'm so grateful that despite some 4,300 kilometers between us, somehow our paths crossed on Parliament Hill. And I am so proud of how we've grown as a couple since that magical summer. I love how caring and thoughtful you are, not only to me, but to our community of friends and family. Always packing that extra layer, Band-Aid or granola bar, just in case it could help another. I love how peaceful it is to be around you. You have such a confident and calm energy that helps us go with the flow to the next adventure, but also weather any storm. You are my partner in finding the joy in every day and saying yes to life in both our shared and individual passions. On this journey we share, I promise to encourage and support you, to laugh with you, and to comfort you when life seems easy and when it seems hard. I promise to look to our community for helping hands. I promise to be mindful, to listen openly, and consider your perspective. I will cherish you and show my gratitude for your presence and your love. Je t'aime beaucoup.
You this ring, that you may wear it as a symbol of the vows we have made on this day.
I give you this ring, that you may wear it as a symbol of the vows we have made on this day.
You may seal your vows with a kiss. Friends, today especially we uphold Emily and Alain as they begin their married life together. With them, we give thanks for the joy they find in each other. Let us help them support each other with patience, understanding, and honesty. Teach them to be wise and loving to all their family. We are called to rejoice in their happiness, to be patient when they make mistakes, and to help them in times of trouble. May the Spirit so direct all of us that we may look to the good of others in word and deed, and grow in grace as we advance in years.
Come to me, give me everything I want. Yeah, the dreams. Speak the language of love like you know what it means. And it can't be wrong. Take my heart and make it strong. You're simply the best, better than all the rest, better than anyone. And I'm stuck on your heart. I hang on every word you say. Tear us apart. Baby, I'll never be good. In my heart I see the stars every night and every day. In your eyes I get lost away. Just as long as I'm here in your arms, I can be in no better place. You're simply the best, better than all the rest, better than anyone I've ever met. And I'm stuck on your heart. I hang on every word you say. Tear us apart. Baby, I'd rather be dead. Oh, each time you leave me, I start losing control. Like you're walking away with my heart and my soul. I can feel you, babe, even when I'm alone. Baby, don't let go, 'cause you're simply the best. Better than all the rest, better than anyone I've ever met. And I'm stuck on your heart, babe.
Emily and Alain, your marriage is intended to join you in a relationship so loving that it will transform you. It offers you the hope and indeed the promise of a love that is true and mature. To attain such love, you will have to love yourselves and each other freely and gladly for the sake of a rich and deep life together. Happy is the couple that rain falls on. Just after this. May your mornings bring joy and your evenings bring peace. May your troubles grow few as your blessings increase. May the saddest day of your future be no worse than the happiest day of your past. May your hands forever be clasped in friendship and your hearts forever joined in love. Your lives are very special. God has touched you in many ways. May God's blessing rest upon you and fill all your coming days. By peace and love you stand, heart to heart and hand to hand. Hark, O Spirit, and hear us now, confirming this our sacred vow. And may you all go out from this place with love in your hearts, inspired by the joy of this celebration and held in grace. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you Emily and Alain.
You have to get closer.
Okay, one more. Woohoo! Yeah, that's good. Big cheer! Tuck your hair, like just out of it, brush your hair and things like that. Do more of a brushing.
To make it better.
Emily, turn your face this way a little bit. Okay, do that again. And keep your face this way, Em. Close your eyes, look down. Yeah, beautiful, right there.
Up on your shoulder. For well you know that it's a fool who plays it cool by making his world a little colder.
Losing the flowers.
Goes back to
Don't let me down.
Perfect.
Oh, look at that sun popping out.
I found her. Now go and
Yeah, show some excitement. Woo!
remember to let her into your heart. Then you can start
Woo!
to make it better. We're done.
Okay, walk towards us this way slowly, hand in hand, looking at each other. Come up the hill slowly now.
And don't you know that it's just you and you do. The movement you need is on your shoulder.
Oh yeah, pull her back into perfect. But stay leaning forward. Stay leaning forward. Stay straight up. Straight up. Yeah. Thanks, Em.
Don't make it bad.
Hold your bouquet at your
Take
waist.
a sad song
Beautiful.
and make it better. Remember to let her under your skin. Then you begin to make it better, 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 better.
Just walk towards me, like kind of like just like a
Airplane.
Airplane.
Really bad contact.
Yeah, really tried to can and failed.
The can.
Let's go back towards him. Go back towards him. Go back against his chest. Oh, sorry. Oh my God, that. And like the opposite side.
And look towards the sun. You can stop doing that now. Lean into a little more. And put your chin down just a little bit and close your eyes down. And lean into a little more. And now take your left hand and bring it up onto the side again. So hold that for a minute. Trying to focus. Thank you. That's good. If you guys want to tell me something.
Next up, Sydney Paddock from
We've got Riley Harvey from Berta BBC. We also wanted to take time to thank Emily and Alain's parents, so Betty and Dale. Betty and Nicole.
And we would also like to recognize all of our guests from out of town, coming from Alberta, the Yukon, Ottawa, BC, in Vancouver, the Lower Mainland, and the Okanagan.
So for those that have been to a wedding before, I hear there's some sort of kissing game that happens when people clench their glass. So we're not going to do that. They're more creative. And so the game will be that you'll have two choices. If you want the bride and groom to kiss, either you have to come up and sing a song about love. Or the second option is that you can come see them, I believe, and pick out of a bag of chocolates. If you pick a kiss, Hershey's Kiss, they'll kiss. If you pick something else, you have to kiss somebody at your table.
Housekeeping announcements, which include COVID restrictions that will be in place tonight. Sorry. But to start, the washrooms are located at the back over here, and as usually my is just over here.
To go through, so the staff will ask any people who look under 30 for their ID. For alcohol drinks, please keep them in the licensed area, so upstairs, so not to have any downstairs.
We also ask that you do not consume private liquor on site, and if alcohol is found, it will be confiscated.
There's non-alcoholic beverages at no charge for designated drivers. There's no overnight parking fees, and there will be tax information at the bar for those who want to get somewhere after this. So I guess a general itinerary will have a dinner, and we'll have some speeches that we'll announce. There'll be dancing beginning around 12:30 with the last call at 12:45.
Otherwise, your tables will be called in order to go to the buffet. It will be in half tables, so the back end of your table, the front end of your table, will be inviting you to eat that way.
And I think lastly, just a reminder, if you'd like to take a picture with the Polaroid that's outside, feel free to do so throughout the night. Leave a little message for writing through.
With this, I believe we will invite the bride and groom, the parents, and the bridal party to go up to the buffet if you will. Thank you.
Hajime
Emily après ça, elle va
When you finish a news drink,
like in a can.
yeah, but I'll put it in your glass. Okay? When you're finished, you bring it over.
It's actually a double rainbow. It's a double rainbow.
That's so funny.
My niece, my nephew, my sister. This was my present to them, by the way. Sorry, you got the same one I did then, too. Mine's over there. Oh, it is a double. Cole, get your... Oh, it's starting to rain, too. That's just perfect. You can't rehearse this stuff. Well, we actually did last night. Moving around.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Scenario.
This was a right
Mrs. Busby, how are you doing?
Oh, not too bad now that the rain goes. Now that the rain goes out.
You were having a shitty time before that? Look how far it goes into the clouds, though, too.
Yeah.
Yes, that's funny. I want Ryan, the photographer, to get out of here.
Oh, should we tell them?
Because that's their job. I don't know.
This is not
Yes, I know, it is. I know.
See if he can cross the river.
With his rope on?
It'd be like a survival test. Like, is he really a Dutchman? Is he a proper Vanderhelm?
He's gotta have the rope on. That's strapped onto nothing. Is it like fading or is it just?
No, it's just tell Terry. Yeah, and it was like, I wasn't
It was the best release I've ever seen. Oh, that's great. That's great. But the context, the apropos.
You like Martin's grimacing.
Wait, you did one more. No, you do.
Is there still a rainbow?
Yes,
I look long suffering. I look for me.
And I don't care.
That's even a good.
I don't care what you think about me.
I don't care either.
What do you call it?
No. That's very cool. Yeah. Just go. Get in there. Just take it off, Alain. Just take it off, buddy.
Later,
Ian.
Yeah, it's fire season. Oh, no more friction. I've been saying all day, dude. Have you gone down there? It's like super sketchy. You can't really get down to the river like safe. I was telling Hayden, I was telling Hayden to tie a string with like a rope, and then I'll go in it, because otherwise I'll stop. Nah, you're not like. I would like to see you.
So it's pas content, c'est un gars qui peut.
I challenge someone to find a floaty.
Riding on the river or riding on a bike?
Look at each other.
Look at each other. Show us.
That current is probably really strong. Yeah. And now he has
Really right now?
I'm waiting for Jimmy's birthday.
First off, from your beloved masters of ceremony, followed by Sydney and Allison. Afterwards,
we got Megan and Emily. Megan, Emily's sister.
we have Nicola and Guy, Alex's parents.
We got Dale, who's Emily's dad.
Emily and Alain will give us some thank yous, and
We'll finish it off with Alan, who will do the closing champagne toast. Speaking of which, you'll probably start receiving some champagne as the speeches are going. So just ask you to try your best to have a little bit left, at least a little bit left at the end for the toast. As hard as it is, just so we have something to cheers. All right. So we'll start our speech now since we're doing hello, bonjour. Time for the 5:45 tour for the wedding group.
c'est l'heure de la visite de 17h45 pour le groupe du mariage.
It's so good to meet you and see you all again. And for those who may not know us by now, if you haven't been listening, it's okay. We're Alain and siblings.
And as a lot of you in this room today, the bride and groom have been tour guides on Parliament Hill, and so have we. So just like Mr. and Mrs. Blewett, Blanchard plus Hewitt, catching on, trust us. We will be giving you a tour of the newlywed couple's story as we know it. Okay, so we start in the early pre-Emily era, in the 1990s. Let's set the scene. Nelson Mandela has been released. East and West Germany reunified. Vanilla Ice's Ice Ice Baby is at the top of the charts.
And Alain is rocking the hardest mushroom cut in all of Orleans. Donc, un petit garçon grandit en lisant des livres, jouant de la guitare et à Magic the Gathering. Mais comme tout père historique, elle n'est pas sans conflit. En 1994 et en 1997, Alain reçoit une petite sœur et un petit frère. In 1994-1997, disaster strikes, and Alain gets his peaceful life disturbed with a little sister and a little brother.
Les partis s'affrontent tous les soirs dans un conflit que les historiens appellent la bataille des personnes. Ça dure près d'une décennie.
And for those who need a translation, that loosely translates to Alain fucking us up every night after dinner.
However, historians agree that these battles took place in good faith, and even though he could have ended us pretty quickly, Alain only just gently beat us up.
Autant qu'il s'amusait à tout garocher sur le sofa, il était bientôt temps qu'il quitte le lit. Quand même bizarre qu'il décidait de partir quand il avait accès à des concerts gratuits de son frère et sa sœur, munis de drums, d'amplificateurs, de micros. La meilleure musique pour se concentrer sur ses études et impressionner ses amis.
Thus, Alain leaving the nest brings us to the long-awaited era of Emily, the ongoing golden age, if you will. Now, as you can see by looking around this room, Alain likes to surround himself with genuinely amazing people. So much so that when he encounters someone not as amazing, he tends to forget to hide his surprise. His kindergarten teacher remembers him as the one who rolled his eyes.
However, when he first talked about Emily, it was the furthest thing from her. He would light up. He would speak so fondly of her that we immediately knew she was going to be somebody special. And soon after, we were all also under her charm.
Now, who was this beautiful Disney princess with an angelic voice who walked into our lives? We're all so smitten that it begs the question, is she a princess? Or is she a witch who has us all under her spell?
Whether magic or not, elle a amené Alain à explorer son côté plus sensible, plus doux.
Now, historians are unsure whether Emily is the cause of this, or if it's just plain old adulthood. But at some point, Alain decided to give his younger siblings a chance to prove themselves not as annoying as he remembered. And from there, wonderful friendships grew.
Alain, du petit garçon au chandail simple qui nous montrait à se battre avec des épées de bois, à créer nos premiers comptes courriels, à l'homme stylé, social, connaissant, accompli, intéressé, qui nous a montré à faire nos choix courts d'université, créer des CV, et qui a généralement agi de bon exemple et d'inspiration pour ce qu'on a voulu devenir et faire de nos vies nous aussi.
Emily, we could stand up here and lie and say we're happy to welcome you into the family. The truth is, after many great conversations, creative gifts, dance parties, Christmases and dinner celebrations, cottage activities, realistically, there's no need for us to welcome you into the family. You've been an integral part of it for a long time now.
Donc, on vous remercie d'avoir participé à notre visite de la saga Alain et Emily. Emily, thanks so much for softening up and bringing so much joy in our big brother's life.
Et Alain, on t'aime tellement, puis on ne pourrait pas être plus heureux pour toi d'avoir trouvé quelqu'un d'aussi spécial.
And Alain and Emily, we're looking forward to being a part of your post-wedding era. We're excited to see what you'll accomplish next. We love you both. And we will stay available for questions after the tour, mostly based on Alain's embarrassing secrets.
So you want to use the restrooms? We are pleased to present the 8th version of our speech. The first 7 versions, geez, they were gross.
They were vetoed by our respective girlfriends and boyfriends, actually. So we're starting point with a bit of a more story type of speech.
Who here has been on a camping trip with Alain? Or a hike, or a canoe trip? You know that it can be a challenge. There's a lot of paddling. There's even more portaging. You're carrying your canoe, all your bags, and Alain is loving it. Everything is going to be very well planned. We're going to have an Excel sheet we're gonna have color-coded plans, everything will be mapped out, and we're still gonna get lost. It's tough, it's amazing, and you think you're having fun, but you're very happy for it to be over. It's a great trip because Alain's a great leader, great adventurer, and a great guy to have around.
Have you ever been on a canoe trip with both? Yes. So you know, it's a lot softer. It's a lot more playful. There's a lot of singing. Alain will wake up early in the morning to make you coffee, and Emily will be the one who will start an impromptu dance party. You have an incredible time, and you still get lost. But Alain has Emily to light the way. And that's why they're inspiring as a couple. They really do bring out the best in each other. I don't want to brag about this, but I happen to be good friends with them individually. And I happen to also know them very well as a couple. And I think there's something really special about seeing them together. Because in camping, as in the rest of their lives, they make the everyday remarkable. Emily brings a bit more playfulness and love and affection into their lives. She truly is the kindest person I know. She has a wonderful group of friends, as you can see around us. And she's really known too for bringing people together. I think we've all been to parties where you just know you're going to have a great time because of the other people there. And you couldn't be luckier to have a wife who is so thoughtful, so funny, and also so full of joy. And Emily is lucky to have Alain because she doesn't have to choose between a guy who is adventurous and reliable. He is both. She also doesn't have to choose between someone who is creative and practical. He is both. He is the guy who will make you a fun cocktail and then sit down with you to do your taxes. Such wonderful qualities. That's why they're going to have such a full life together.
We wanted to give a shout out to all the amazing friends and family that are here today. You guys have really a great group of people around you to support you in your marriage. You also seem to be friends wherever you go, whether it's through your various degrees, your camping trips, your volleyball leagues, the book clubs, the guiding family, the list goes on. We asked many of your friends to describe you guys and share stories about you both. They have described Alain as a type of person who will come extra prepared with an extra sweater for the camping trip. And yet when you need the sweater, when you forgot your sweater, Alain will give you the extra sweater, but first tease you just a little bit. Later, when it's your birthday, Alain will then gift you the sweater. Emily, many of your friends noted you as the person who will be there for you under any circumstances. It brings joy to Emily when she can positively impact the lives of others. Having now spent a bit of time with both your families, we can really see where you both get these qualities.
Before we end our speech, I wanted to know for anyone who doesn't know this, my name is Allison. This is Cedric. And we have been some of Emily and Alain's #1 fans for many years now. Don't worry, we know there's a lot of competition. We love you both so much. We're super excited for your adventures ahead. And thank you so much for hosting this amazing event and for bringing this incredible group of people together. We will see you on the dance floor.
responsibilities like no other. In fact, I treated Emily like she was my own daughter, and having a real-life baby doll was a dream for me. I soon realized that this cute doll would grow up and develop a mind of her own. And unlike my past dolls, I could not boss this one around. And this doll preferred to wander around museums rather than malls. But aside from our minor differences, Emily and I have gotten along really well, and I am one of the fortunate ones who gets to have a sister as their best friend. Emily has always been the beautiful, fun, smart, outgoing, and carefree sister, and she is truly the best doll that I could have. So, as most of you already know, Emily is always up for an adventure, so it's no wonder why she went to Ottawa and became a Parliament Guide tourist. And I remember her sending me photos of her in her modest tour guide uniform and telling me all about the Parliament parties. She failed to mention to me that she was falling in love with a French Canadian. When I finally found out about Alain, I could tell by the sparkle in her eye that this guy was the big deal. The first time I met Alain, I was picking him up from the Victoria Ferry Terminal. The ocean breeze was blowing in his hair. Brown eyes gazed at Emily, and I could just see Emily's face light up. She instantly smiled and was completely giddy. So Alain evidently swooped Emily off her West Coast feet with his dreamy looks, intelligence, and loving demeanor. And soon Emily was sporting her merino wool leggings and living in the cold part of Canada. And so when family members live far away from each other, you don't get to do the normal family visits, such as simply enjoying a Sunday dinner and then be like, see you next weekend. Instead, you have the luxury of getting to spend a lot of quality time with Alain. And when Alain is here, it's for at least 2 weeks, if you're lucky. And during this time, Alain has been on many family vacations. And we all know that family vacations bring out the best and the worst in all families. And on these family vacations, Alain has unfortunately been put in very uncomfortable situations, such as having to sleep on an old pull-out coach surrounded by stinky dogs, and just recently, being crammed in long car rides with a whining toddler attempting potty training. And honestly, any normal person would crack under these circumstances, but Alain has always been patient and kind. In fact, even after a horrible night's sleep or a super long car ride, this guy maintains a smile on his face and will even kindly offer his family's finest maple syrup to just maintain a positive vibe. Alain is one of the most patient human beings I've ever met. He treats my son like the Princess Seashell, and most importantly, he treats my sister as if she were the Queen of Canada. Together, Emily and Alain are a power couple. As a couple, they are always going on exciting adventures, such as traveling to Iceland, backpacking the Wandafuka trails, and ice skating lakes in Ottawa. Their zest for life and each other makes them a perfect pair. I'm so grateful you two have found each other, and I couldn't be happier for the both of you. And I assume as like maid of honor, a mom, older sister, a married woman, I should have marriage advice or just some good old advice, but I honestly feel you two have figured it out. You both live your life to the fullest, and you are always growing together as a couple. So I would like to make a toast to this power couple, Emily and Alain. I wish you both a happy marriage, full of lots of adventures, lots of laughter, and unconditional love. Cheers.
friends and family, we are gathered here today to join in holy matrimony. Oh, sorry, wrong speaker. I'm Geek, father of the groom, and over here is my wife, Nicole, Annie's mother. We would like to start out by thanking each and every one of you for taking the time to join us today in order to celebrate with Emily and Alain. As difficult as it may be not to talk about the weather, the fires, the smoke, COVID, expanding and shrinking guest list, and all the complications involved in attending this ceremony, we just wanted you all to know that we appreciate your presence among us. Some have traveled long distances to be here, but I guess that's only fitting as Emily and Alain's journey was very much a long distance relationship. Yeah, I was it. I'm a little bit fuzzy on the details, but I think there was 2 of you in Ottawa, then there was Ottawa, Vancouver, then there was Europe, then there was one at UBC and one at UVic, and oh, it's just a ferry ride away. Then there was Toronto, Ottawa, and Ottawa again, and finally, here we are. Way, way back, and it came into this world as a surprise. A happy surprise, but a surprise nonetheless, that surprisingly made us, as a couple, very happy. We had no idea what we were getting into, what we were doing, how to raise kids, no manuals included. But you know what? We did our best, and Emily, this is the result. Alain seemed to be somewhat destined to be serious and to carry a briefcase. I remember when he was about 3 years old, he would fill his little yellow scholastic cardboard plastic briefcase with papers and walk about the house saying he was going to do taxes, just like his dad. And being a good provider was always important, hence the studies of law. But providing would prove to be a very finicky thing. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Alain was carrying a granola bar right now. Or maybe a bag of nuts. Just in case Emily gets hungry. Not to mention hanger. And maybe there's an extra jacket folded in a secret pocket just to make sure Emily doesn't get cold. Opposites attract, it's true. And I'm certain that part of what attracted the serious Alain to Emily's spark and spunkiness was exactly that, complementarity. That's a big word. Oh, Minnie, how you complete me, from one of Alain's favorite films. It's also been said that Alain is, and always has been, somewhat of an old soul. Applying common sense, he's wise and well thought out in his ideas. Some of that may be due to the time that he spent with his grandparents. And he was very fortunate to be influenced by 2 different types of grandparents. One, the challenging, intellectual type. The other, very loving and down-to-earth version. And I think the combination of these 2 forces created quite a balanced environment for a very positive upbringing. Unfortunately, neither of them could be here today, but I know for a fact that they are both very proud of what Alain has become. In the room from either Alabama or Mississippi? Good. Very good. Most of you probably don't know this, but Alain was asked in marriage way before Emily came along. Whoa! Scandalous, I know. At the tender age of 3, while sharing a bath with his cousin Michelle. Michelle exclaimed, "Why should I met Alain?" But since we're not from the deep south, the parents agreed that marrying first cousins would not happen. sorry, Michelle, but we know that you approve of Alain's choice. Thank you for your pleasure. As mentioned earlier, Alain's has always been pretty choosy when it comes to purchases, when it comes to friends, when it comes to girlfriends. So the bar was pretty high when Emily came into the picture. At first we would hear that, oh, Emily was beautiful. Then the term strikingly beautiful was strewn around. Then upon playing board games, Alain discovered that she was fun and intelligent. But then we heard her sing and play the piano. Well, that was the arrow straight through the heart, or the hammer right across the head. You choose. God, ça chante comme un ange, tabarnak. The friends didn't get that. One cousin's spouse was heard proclaiming, roughly translated, that means Emily sings like an angel. And music keeps on marking their relationship. When they spent time apart, Nicole and I vividly remember Alain sharing renditions of Emily's songs on his laptop, and then sadly disappearing into his room with his headphones. And Emily, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if the first CD I bought Alain was Iron Maiden's greatest hits. And Emily, I'm sorry for bringing you through the horrors of Marilyn Manson in the car on the drive up to the cottage. What can I say? I love a captive audience. And, you know, sometimes you just gotta take one for the team. And speaking of teams, Emily, you must know that Nicole just loves having another person around who wants to dance. Whenever an impromptu dance party just breaks out, be it at the cottage or anywhere else for that matter. And personally, I like Emily's attentiveness, specifically when it comes to choosing my Christmas gifts. Nicole and I are both grateful for Emily's recent interest in Canadian baking competitions. And I think that's a pan-Canadian thing that's going on here also. And just to be crystal clear, we're always down for leftovers. In conclusion, the bottom line is that we are both very happy for the two of you and very proud of the both of you. I probably will never say this often, but I love you both. And although they sound like New Year's wishes, our wishes for you are really quite simple. Love, happiness, health, and wealth. And as for advice, I do have one piece for you. I leave you with 4 little words. Very simple. Revel in each other. Bonne chance, good luck, thank you. Merci.
There's also, you have those fantastic either blueberry or blackberry jam containers on your front. All those blackberries were picked by my cousin Kelly. Where are you, Kelly? Thanks so much. Also, you see that fantastic the label that's been put on them, and if you go to the front, you see front picture. Just beautiful. And that was from Carla. Where are you, Carla? I know you know what I was saying. Alain, where are you? What can I say about the qualities of Emily? Well, there are three which I briefly will discuss. You probably already know them. Emily may be a little stubborn, but we don't call it stubborn, let's just call it strong-willed. Or, as you say in French, elle est têtue. Where is Dylan? Dylan, I'm supposed to do this. What is it? I can remember when Emily was a young 2-year-old crying in the middle of the night, wanting to get out of the crib. Shh, let her cry, she would stop, Betty would say. We would hear this movement in her bedroom, and then all of a sudden this crash and this screaming, and we realized she climbs to the top of the crib bars, and then just drops. We would rush to the bedroom, pick her up, put her back in the crib. She would again repeat the same pattern. Cry, climb to the top of the crib bars, and just drop, scream. Well, soon Emily was sleeping in our bed. And we decided to get her a bed. Let's get her a bed. Hopefully this would stop her from being in our bedroom at night. Don't let her in the bedroom, Betty would say. If she came in, we would take her back to her bedroom. But then Betty started noticing something on the wallpaper that was close to Emily's bed. It was gradually but slowly being ripped off. It was almost as Emily was saying, this is what will happen if I can't sleep here. Strong will, LA did too. Well, running into our bed at least once a week continued until probably she was well into, Emily?
I think I was about 11.
Oh, look at your eyes. I'm saying high school. Okay? Yes. Well, you know this year everyone's encouraged to get COVID shots. There was one person in our family that exclaimed, I don't need a COVID shot. And when Emily heard this person refusing to get vaccination, she was in disbelief. Her strong will kicked in. She started phoning him, emailing him, texting him, getting other family members to text him, sending him podcasts, articles about the benefit of vaccines, basically hounding him. And eventually this member did get his COVID shots. Now, second, Emily has no problem taking risks, taking chances, seizing the moment, carte diem. During her first year at university, about February, she said something like this, you know, I'd like to get a job as a parliamentarian guide in Ottawa. She had to interview downtown Vancouver, she had to give a speech and answer a number of questions to a group of interviewers. She took the risk and recycled an old French immersion speech from high school. Her speech topic, my journey learning a new language. Well, she got the position. But more important, as a result of that risk of the interview speech that summer in Ottawa, she met a fellow parliamentarian guy, Alain. And that, of course, was the beginning of her relationship. Emily, Cartier. Now, in the autumn of her third year at UBC, Emily said, Dad, I want to take a semester at a Paris university this spring. You're not going with yourself, are you? No, I have a new friend. Pega is going to help me study in Paris. Pega, where are you? Pega, you're here. There she is at the back. Now, Emily said, don't worry. Pega is flying from Paris from the States, and I will be flying from Vancouver, and we'll get together at Charles de Gaulle Airport, all right? Have you ever been to Charles de Gaulle Airport yet? Charles de Gaulle Airport is the second largest and most busiest airport in all of Europe. Don't worry, Dad, everything will be fine. Well, Emily did seize the moment, and somehow she did meet Pega at the busy Charles de Gaulle Airport. But at the airport, this is where the Parisian adventure really did begin. A man within the terminal asked if they needed the taxi. within the terminal. He was not outside the terminal where taxi attendants are supposed to stay, but inside. Well, as I understand it, they followed him, and he went into one of the parking lots, and they said, you know, something's not right. Something's not right. Well, Carte Diem pushes in, and they turned around, scurrying with their luggage bags, and the man screaming at them, demanding for euros for wasting his time. Thank you, Pega. Finally, Emily has a quality, such a quality of being able to have the most wonderful, unique relationships with friends and family, as we've all heard here. Alain, her brother, calls her oatmeal. Why, I don't know, ask him later on, okay? Megan, her sister, seems to be constantly in touch with her, even though the distance is 3,500 kilometers separating. And for example, one time I remember so plainly, Emily often helped out Megan with Megan's grade 1 or 2 classes. Emily and Anna will be videoing to the classroom, singing and playing on the keyboard, Alain videoing, and Megan's classroom, 3,500 kilometers away, are singing along with Emily. And then there is Devin. Devin, where are you? Are wonderful, playing the pipes. Wasn't that fantastic? Often with Devin, her cousin, they would have a sleepover and watch as many Harry Potter movies as possible. Now, this wasn't 15 years ago, this wasn't 10 years ago, this was about 3 or 4 years ago they would do it, all right? Then, of course, one other group. There's the Brookswood High School gang, Carlin, and there's Lindsay here. It's such a wonderful group. They went on trips together, they had school theater productions, and some of the craziest Halloween costumes. I'm not going to say any of them. Talk about the Halloween costumes they had. And of course, Emily went to Ottawa, and we found it here. Such a whole new group of friendships began. Most, I believe, around the parliamentarian guide crew, but also Alain's family, his mother and father, Nicole and Guy, sister Camille, and brother Zach. Nicole and Guy, I know you have made Emily so welcome and being a part of the family. I thank you so much for that. Greatest and biggest friend in Ottawa is her husband. Somebody, her husband. We all know that COVID has affected us all in its own way the last year. It's been tough. As I already said, Emily seizes the moment. Alain is with her. They're in the middle of COVID making the sourdough starter. Or as the French again say, pain au levain. Emily says, a good sourdough loaf is so soft like a baby's bottom. Her and Alain started doing a lot of baking and cooking during COVID. They had baking contests online, and she had Zach, and of course Alain's brother, give critiques of her baking on the messaging video. But seemed almost like someone said already, an episode from the Great Canadian Baking Show. And she explained, I basically have the experience of a middle-aged Italian woman because I have made so many meals during COVID. Now, it's wonderful, as everyone said, who's come up the front here, to hear about the different activities that Emily and Alain do together. Bike hike, 75K in one day, is uncommon. They have salsa lessons. You should see how those salsa lessons are later on tonight. And of course, all the camping, the hiking, the canoeing trips, this goes on. Well, Emily's strong will, her adventurous behavior, her quality times with friends definitely make her very unique. This is what I feel here. Two wonderful people, Emily and Alain. They're beginning on a new and exciting journey in their life as wife and husband. Or as the French say, Sœurs Neveu, couple commence une nouvelle excitante aventure ensemble comme conjoint. Thank you.
have Alain and Emily going to give thank yous, and after that, Alan's going to close off the reception with a toast.
Bonjour tout le monde. Hi everyone. We made it. We made it. You made it. What a ride it has been. Nous sommes tellement heureux d'avoir le privilège de célébrer notre amour avec vous aujourd'hui.
Thank you for your unwavering support, patience, and enthusiasm over the last 2 or so years. Mere months ago or weeks ago, we weren't even sure we would be celebrating our wedding this summer. We could not be more thrilled to be here with you. Thank you to the Fraser River Lodge team and vendors for your flexibility and support throughout all of this.
Pour commencer, nous tenons à remercier nos familles. C'est entièrement grâce à votre soutien et votre amour à travers nos vies que nous avons eu l'opportunité de se rencontrer et de partager des valeurs importantes.
When we got engaged, we had the opportunity to discuss what a wedding would mean to us. Ultimately, we agreed that it was about celebrating our love and our communities of friends and families. Each and every one of you here has supported and nourished our relationship, and we are beyond grateful.
Fortunately for us, this is not the Oscars, and nobody will be cutting off this long-winded but essential thank you list. Thank you to our parents, Nicole, Betty, Guy, and Dale,
for everything.
nos frères et sœurs, Megan, Alan, Camille, et Zach. Thank you, Megan, for your incredible planning skills, drive, enthusiasm, and for what I hear, epic bachelorette. Thank you, Alan, for the amazing dinner party, the delicious shrimp, which I may or may not have too many of, and bonus dishes. Merci Camille et Zach pour vos services de maître de cérémonie, de sélection de musique et d'enthousiasme pour de longues randonnées en vélo. Thank you, Allison and Cedric, for planning the Bachelor to Remember, and Riley for your generous help and counsel over the last year. Thank you, Kevin and Jan, for the cake, the bagpipes, and the stunning backyard party.
Again, thanks to Carlin for lending us your artistic talents, Lindsay for your helping hands, and Dale for your jam-making skills. And thanks to my cousins Ryan and Davis for taking the time to record parts of the day today. The list could really just keep going on forever and ever, but for anyone we have not named, thank you, everyone. It means really the world to us to be surrounded by such wonderful people. Now, my brother Alan will lead us on our final toast.
All right, welcome everybody. So, the stars, I like to say, have finally aligned. And I was finally asked to give a speech at a wedding. So this was quite an honor for me. Actually, usually Thankfully, I'm never asked to do such a thing. But with this honor from Emily came 2 rules. 1, it must be under 5 minutes. And the second, which wasn't said, but very much implied, it must be politically correct. I will do my best. Before toasting this incredible couple, I thought I'd share some stories of Emily and Alain. As you may know, Emily and I are nearly a decade apart. And yes, I agree with you. What was Betty and Dale thinking? Things were just fine with Megan and I. But out she came. And I actually clearly remember doing this, taking Emily to Miss Schaefer's class in grade 2 for show and tell. I thought, this wasn't so bad. Second sister, more than married. But little did I know, my sanity would be forever lost. With 2 sisters came endless singing and screaming. I remember a road trip in Grandpa's motorhome to Disneyland. Illustrating this, Emily, as you may know, is lavishly spoiled by her father. Who even went to the measure of buying Emily a cassette tape dedicated to Emily. The song still resonates in my head to this day and haunts me. And this is the chorus. Hey Emily, can you dance with me? Shake, shake it, can you shake like a tree? And I have heard that about 1,000,000 times and I still know it. As you may know, I tend to give nicknames to many, and Emily was no exception. As Emily developed into a beautiful, thoughtful, and ridiculously smart woman, to my dismay, she also had a love for Justin Trudeau, left-wing politics, and a love for everybody in this world. And she can eat anything she wants and stay thin. So this is how and where I came up with Emily's nickname as Oatmeal. With her granola tendencies, it just made sense. So Oatmeal at some point brought Alain by. I find that my sister's husbands just show up and keep coming back to family events till they become family. Alain was no different. I can't remember when Alain and I met. These guys, just like Cole, they're very sneaky. And soon, they're just always there. As you know, Alain is French for Alan. And there was no way we could possibly have 2 Allens in the family. So quickly, I dropped the last 2 letters of his name and made it Allah. I thought the Islamic God was humorous, an interesting name for the young fella. But yet again, most of my great ideas, they go sideways. While visiting Emily and Allah in Ottawa, we went to an outdoor movie, and of course, I called out for Allah. And Emily's Islamic friend looked at me in horror and confusion. I could not match a better person for Emily. You are patient, loving, and have a clear moral compass. Guy and Nicole, you did a great job at raising your son. I have no issues or problems with this, and I know things will go as planned. You make my job as a big brother very easy. I'm delighted with the events today. Both Emily and Alain have enormous effort and trust in their relationship to make the leap to marriage. And that is what we are all here to toast to, and that's what we're all here for. So please grab your glass of champagne, and we'll have a toast to the bride and groom. All right, now next up, we we have a cake cutting. Our lovely cousin Devin has made a fantastic job in making this masterpiece. I have been told it's a blackberry lavender cake with white chocolate buttercream. So as the tradition states, let's cut the cake.
They don't make this easy.
Oh no, let me twist it. Yeah, you go. This is hard. I think I'm getting that undercut. That was shockingly difficult.
Coke. Okay, look at each other. Wrap your arms up in each other. Rotate clockwise just a little bit. Yeah. And then wrap your arms all the way around her waist. Perfect. Whisper something into her right ear. Nice, you good? Keep doing that. Keep going for the whispers. And bring your hand onto his upper arm area. Beautiful. Stroke his arm. Bring it back down on his arm. Just gonna keep going up and down.
You have to edit all this. You can't.
Get in there.
This one's gonna be so long for you to edit.
No, rub your noses together. And put your hands on both his cheeks and just be like, woo. Yeah. So cute. Bring him in for a kiss like that. And now foreheads together, just leave each other in. Rotate clockwise again. Okay. A little more, yeah, that's good. They're coming this way.
Yeah, it's gonna get behind. Why not?
Shall we? Yeah, you shall. Slight jog. A little faster. Look at each other. Stay a couple steps behind him. Okay, go back the other way.
Should I lead?
Oh, you want to be in front? Yeah.
Is that the right way?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Or wait, I feel like is it this way?
There you go.
There. Yeah.
Okay, now one more time the other way. I love how you're kind of like a skip there, Em.
Yeah, I'm a skipper.
Yeah, definitely a skipper.
I'm a skipper.
My name is James. I'm going to be your DJ for the evening. Oh God, does that ever feel good? Well, ladies and gentlemen, seeing as we're talking about the music, we're going to have our first dances right now, and it is my absolute pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome to the dance floor for the very first time as husband and wife, Emily and Alain.
Come away with me in the night. Come away with me and I will write you a song. Come away with me on a bus. Come away where they can't stand us with their lies. I wanna walk with you on a cloudy day in fields where the yellow grass grows knee high. So won't you try to come away with me and we'll kiss on a mountain. Come away with me and I'll never stop loving you.
And once again, give it up for Well, ladies and gentlemen, while we have them out there, we're going to ask their parents to join them on the floor.
No, I think he's okay.
Oh boy. When I first saw this actually on the list, I was, is this the right song? Everybody in here is about ready for a good treat. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy. Lord. What on earth have I gotten myself